Is Josh Jacobs still an elite NFL running back? Let's unpack that. Yeah, guys, so I came across an article today. Rank these 7 running backs: Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook, Bijan Robinson, Saquon Barkley, and Derrick Henry. Rank those 7 running backs. And the first thought I had was not what the order of these 7 running backs were. My thought was, when did Josh Jacobs stop being part of these conversations? And I'm not saying he's number 1 or 2 or 3 or even 4 on this list, but when did he stop being part of that conversation? Where did they not put him into the mix there? He's always been looped into that group with those guys. You know, when did that stop happening? I hope it's not because of last season, you know, where I thought he played very well at times behind an O-line that was highly inconsistent, moving parts all season. He was banged up, especially towards the end of the year, and he still played well when he got healthier. Right? He was managing an injury towards pretty much the entire back half of the last season. I hope the conversation is not about him and his skill set or his age, because I don't think he's showing signs of anything of that nature. Yes, he dealt with some injuries, but you don't have to be an old guy to be having some injuries pop up for a season. We've seen our young players like Christian Watson and Jayden Reed have injury issues throughout their early part of their career, and they're both still a lot younger than Josh is. You know, and I don't think Josh has historically been an injured player, and I don't think that's going to continue moving forward. I just think the O-line did not help him much last year, if at all. I think Josh Jacobs is still a very elite football player for us. I think he's going to be one of those things that drives us to as deep as we can go. I think he's going to be one of the reasons we do go. Right? Like he's kind of what drives the offense in so many ways. But of course, you need to have a semblance of some kind of run blocking in the offensive line. And the inconsistencies were just astronomical for the whole unit. I just think about, you know, them bringing in Aaron Banks and his underperformance, and Jordan Morgan bouncing around, and the situation with Sean Ryan having to bounce around when Elton Jenkins went out at center. There was just so many moving parts. I don't think there was much cohesion with that group, guys. And, you know, and I'm not necessarily blaming all of the offensive line as the reason that the running game wasn't so good. There's a lot of things. I think Matt LaFleur did not set up the play calling very well in the running game either. I think there was a lot of focus on getting the passing game right so much throughout the course of, you know, when things started to kind of taper off after game 3, game 4-ish, right? Like when we were having a high-powered offense, I think things started to taper off a little bit. And Matt was very focused on getting the passing game back on track, and I feel like the running game just never really developed with all those O-line issues and whatnot too. So I'll tell you, I think Jacobs is still very good, guys. And again, he's not number 7 even, maybe. Maybe you call him number 8, or another guy I would throw in there is Devon Achane, right? But he's definitely in the top 10 still, and I would say he's in the conversation with all those guys. I want Packers fans to understand what kind of football player he is. I do remember, you guys remember the catch he made over Greenlaw against Denver in the end zone, where he mossed him. I mean, you know, he's got a lot of underutilized skills, but I don't think his skills are diminishing, and I didn't see that last year, certainly. You look at what he was able to do at times, right? And again, it seems like in the biggest games, he tends to shine the brightest, and that's what I love about him. I really believe he's a Super Bowl caliber running back. And by that, I understand that a lot of teams have won with running backs that are not spectacular or not the highest paid, or maybe rookies or even undrafted guys, whatever. And the Packers have done that themselves. But I do think if you're looking at guys who can lead a locker room, lead an offense, carry you in a game that matters a ton when it's cold or when everybody's getting tired or it's late in the fourth quarter, who has been that guy for Green Bay, right? I always point to Josh Jacobs as the guy that's doing things like that. I mean, he really puts the team on his back, and even when the team's not performing well, he seems to always find that extra gear, do that extra 1%, whether it's the playoffs or whether it's a late important season game. He just seems to find some kind of extra gear, guys, that he hits, and he gets a little harder to tackle, a little faster, a little stronger, a little more aggressive running. And that's the kind of player that you can win a Super Bowl with, is the guys who shine when when the lights are the brightest, and I really believe Josh Jacobs is one of those guys. So, when I hear conversations about the best running backs in the league, I'm not saying Josh Jacobs is the best running back in the league, but he sure is one of them. God bless the Green Bay Packers, and go Pack go.